to introduce Sandy McLaughlin, who is the Educational Liaison and Board Member of the Telluride Aids Benefit.
Thanks.
So, Sandy, how did your involvement with TAB begin?
Well, Susan, my husband and I moved to the Telluride area in 1987, and soon afterward we met Amy Kimberly, who was one of our first executive directors for the Telluride Aids Benefit. And we met and clicked, and she was very interested in what was going on with AIDS and HIV and making sure that kids were safe and making healthy decisions. And so then I got a job with the school district in '88, and by '91 I was at that time the principal of the middle high school, and we talked about starting some educational programs in the school.
Why do we need HIV awareness programs in the school, since it's not going to happen in our backyard? It's just, we don't have the kinds of population groups that tend to contract HIV. What do you say to them?
I tell them they're wearing blinders, because honestly, we're a small community and a small school district, but we live in this box canyon, this beautiful box canyon that thousands of people flock to all throughout the year. They come in the winter for skiing, they come in the summer for our festivals. We've got tourists who come all the time, and lots of young kids. Just over Christmas, I came into the school one day when it was during the holiday, and there were 4 buses, and there were, I think they said, almost 1,000 college kids from Arizona were here skiing. So, you know, our kids want to meet those kids. They want to have fun with them. They want to party with them. They want to go to concerts with them. So for us to say that that we're too small is a misnomer. We've got kids here who are not going to live in this box canyon forever. They're going to graduate. They're going to go off to college and be out in the real world. They need to be safe and make some healthy decisions.
So what you're saying in essence is the world comes to Telluride.
It does.
And then Telluride goes out into the world.
That's exactly.
So how then do you increase awareness and reduce risk in the schools? What do you do?
Well, we have a program that is age appropriate for middle school and high school age kids. So that's from 7th grade through 12th grade. And we bring in educators once a year. Usually it's just a half-day program. And we have our beneficiaries come in and they meet with small groups of kids, usually by grade level, and they talk about a variety of things. In middle school, they might be talking about what are some safe, how is HIV contracted, what we call an HIV AIDS 101. We don't really talk about sex at all at that age level. We talk about how it can be contracted, how it can be prevented, but basically more of a scientific approach. We do a simple little activity called the test tube activity, which is kind of fun. Every kid gets a test tube, and one has a little special ingredient that we add, and we say, pretend you're at a party and you're sharing a sip of your soda. And so, can I take a sip of your soda? And by the end of the session, within 20 minutes, we see how many test tubes have changed color to illustrate how quickly it can spread. And at the higher levels, at each grade level, we get more detailed and more in-depth. So by the time they're juniors and seniors, they even have a session where they go into a room with one of our beneficiaries. That we have a male group and a female group, and they talk about, we don't allow any educators in there except for those people presenting. So I don't go in there, none of the teachers do. The kids, there's no holds barred. The kids can ask anything they want to, and they get those questions answered, and I think that's important.
Can you describe with the peer advocates who they are and what they do?
Sure. Since our first educational program in the schools, which happened in the early 90s, one of the things we do, aside from the half-day of education, is we bring in educators, usually advocates for youth out of Washington, D.C. We're also looking at another group from Portland, Oregon, possibly to come in, as well as our beneficiaries. And what we have them do is train a specific group of kids who are interested in being peer educators, who then work with our middle school and our high school age kids on our education day. And I'm very proud of Edith Elliott, who was our very first director of our student fashion show, which we started 7 years ago. And now she is out of college, and she's participating as an AIDS educator in adult life. So I think that's fabulous. And I'm hearing that she's coming back this year for our benefit. So I'm looking forward to seeing her.
What is the theme of this year's show, and when is it?
The show this year is Monday, February 23rd in the Palm Theater, which is at their intermediate school, right adjacent to the high school, at 5:30 p.m. It'll be $10 at the door.
Okay.
We'll have some VIP seats down in the orchestra pit for $20. We'll have special door prizes and things like that, so we encourage people to come. Only lasts about an hour. And then the auction. And the theme this year is setting the stage for the cure.
Thank you very, very much, Sandy.
You're welcome.